Hey y'all, happy Monday. I hope you all had a fantastic weekend. I know we did. We spent Saturday at the 35-mile Endless Highway sale here in Virginia, and we found some amazing things, including those giant blow molds you guys saw. Now, that's not something I'm going to be listing on eBay because I don't want to ship them and I don't want to store them forever, so I'm going to list them on Marketplace. But something we did sell on eBay is this raccoon pot holder, which I paid $1 for, and it sold for $11.01. And that person bought two other items. That person's name is Shondalyn. Sorry if I said that wrong. And she had sent me a message saying that she was a viewer and she picked up a few things, which is very cool. The other thing that she got is this Coors Beer vintage beer key, and I paid $0.10 for it at the bins. It sold for $5.95. But she got one last thing, and this was a relatively recent pickup. We actually got a green and a yellow set of Tupperware measuring cups, the nesting kind, and we only paid $1 for both sets, so 50 cents for this set. It sold for $12.71. So thank you very much for your $29.67 order. You guys go check her out over on eBay. Has a great store with a lot of cool things. All right, our next order going out is going to be a wallet, and this is one that's been in my store for quite some time. I picked it pretty early on in my reselling career, and I'm not saying that I don't grab Vera Bradley anymore, because I will if it's in good condition or it's a desirable pattern. But for the most part, I'm not picking stuff like this anymore. Got a lot of discoloration on the outside, but I only paid 50 cents for it at the bins. It finally sold for $9.95, and I think for $9.95 it is worth it to a buyer. Now, this item we picked up recently at a church estate sale when it was 75% off, so I only paid $1.25 for this hockey puck. I thought it was Detroit Red Wings, but it actually says Virginia Red Wings on it, which I thought maybe Little League, but turns out it's the 1970s farm team. So I paid $1.25 for it. It sold for $29.95 within 5 minutes of listing. So I probably left some money on the table there, but still a great pickup and a great profit. Now this, on the other hand, was definitely a great pickup. I got a whole bunch of this Corelle and Pyrex butterfly gold pattern stuff. Now the bowls here, they were the rough ones. That little one's got a little chip on the edge, and then obviously the kind of rust stains on the larger one. I only paid $1 for these two bowls. They sold for $15.26. Like 2 weeks ago, I got a whole collection of that pattern of dishware at a yard sale for $5 for all of it, including the very valuable glass pitcher. So very happy with that purchase. Now this purchase also made me happy. This 1990s Pikachu cake pan I found at my local Goodwill. It cost $2.99, but it sold for $31.95 within 24 hours of listing. That cake pan is kind of a bolo. A lot of the ones that you would think would be Barney, Cabbage Patch, things like that, they're not so much. But that Pikachu, if you see it, pick it up. Now we have an adorable little vampire Annalee doll going out, little mouse. He's got a cute little widow's peak. I paid $1 for him at an estate sale. He sold for $12.71. Now, I think by now everybody knows Starbucks cups can definitely be a bolo. That being said, I only try to pick up the kind of touristy places ones like you just seen there, especially if they're like overseas locations. But when I saw this for 99 cents at the thrift store, I thought it was kind of pretty, so I grabbed it, and I'm glad it did. It sold for $12.95. We just sold a Pikachu cake pan, and now we are grabbing another Pokemon item. And I know nothing about Pokemon, you guys, so anytime I grab Pokemon stuff to resell, unless I've already checked the comps, it's kind of a gamble. But this really wasn't a gamble because I got this for free. Actually, that house clean out that we did a little while back where they said, come in, take anything you want, it's all going in a dumpster anyway. We grabbed two different little Pokemon mystery pins, and this one sold for $7.96. Love those free opportunities whenever they present themselves. I'm trying to straighten out this poster over here, this cool black light neon colored felt sublime poster I grabbed this weekend at a yard sale. Super neat item. Just trying to get it to uncurl. But in the meantime, we sold these tapestry rooster placemats. There are two of them. I grabbed them at a yard sale for $0.25 a piece. They sold for $9.95. All right, now we're going over to our larger ephemera box to grab a lot that I put together. Last year I went to a highway sale and got one of the shoe boxes full of a bunch of cutout paper dolls, and it ended up being 4 or 5 different sets of paper dolls, and these are the Mickey and Minnie Mouse ones from 1977, made by Whitman. So I paid about a quarter for those. They sold for $5 on offer. Not a big bolo by any means, but they were still neat and fun to play with and photograph. Look at me, I'm dropping books everywhere here. Oh, we'll deal with that later. But these, I'm almost always gonna pick up if I can get them for a quarter or less. These are the little mini pocket New Testaments. There's a lot of 8 of them. Paid no more than $2, sold for $24.95. I'm always going to pick those little pocket Bibles up for a quarter or less, but never more than that. They're not very hard to find. They're kind of everywhere. What's not everywhere are Anna Lee dolls, except in here, but this cute little mum holding mouse sold for $14.95. Now we are going down to our office area, and we sold a pencil with a pencil topper. This is a vintage, definitely vintage, 1989 Shamu from SeaWorld pencil with topper. Made in Taiwan, which a lot of these topper pencils are. Paid a quarter at a highway sale, it sold for $7. Now we're grabbing our little stool here because we've got to climb up and grab some Pez. We had one person buy 4 different NCAA football Pez from us. And so now that we've got those down, we'll show you what they picked up. Of course, when people do multiple item orders like this, I'm happy to refund what they overpay in shipping after they check out, and I get the order packed. They picked up the Louisville Cardinals, Arkansas Razorbacks, UNC Tar Heels, and then the Washington State something footballs. The whole order was $23.64. Sorry if I don't know the mascot to Washington State. That's not one I deal with very often. The others we hear about a little bit more frequently. I am on the East Coast, so you can hold that against me. Now we have an estate sale item going out, and I pretty much will grab anything if it's cheap enough and it's got some sort of pharmaceutical advertisement on it. And this stapler, which had never been used, cost a quarter at an estate sale. It sold for $10.17. Some of that pharmaceutical stuff flies as soon as you list it, and some of it sits forever, but at a quarter, it's worth the gamble to me. Now we have a white hat that I'm dropping on the ground like a goofball. This is a West Florida Argos Nike hat, and as you can see, it does have a little discoloration, so we wanted to make sure we noted that in the listing. I paid a quarter at the bins, it sold for $6. Sold it cheap because it's not in perfect condition, but still not a bad flip. Now, this was a cool item from the bins. This I paid 50 cents for, which hardback books are 50 cents at the bins, but there was no way I was leaving this behind. Didn't even matter how much it was worth. Too cool to not grab. This is the E.T. Book of the Green Planet, which is kind of like a continuation to the E.T. story, and it's a children's book. I paid 50 cents. It sold for $14.95. Now, I have quite a bit of jewelry over here for sale, in this and then the tub below it, but I don't know a whole lot about jewelry, so I really don't pick a lot up, but if it's cheap enough and I think it's interesting looking, I will grab it, or if it's like a bulk purchase opportunity, which is how I got this Pennsylvania Dutch bird type brooch. Paid a quarter, it sold for $10.16, but it has been listed for quite some time. Now, something I will almost always pick up if I can get it cheap are skeleton keys. They are just too cool. I love them. It's fun finding them and taking pictures of them and all that. And this one's got a little number 9 stamped on it. I picked up for a quarter at an estate sale. It sold for $9.95. Now, a quarter at an estate sale, you guys probably think I'm lying and not telling the truth, but those came from sales where basically they just gave me a price on everything I put in my shopping bag. A lot of times I'm doing that on the last day of the sale, and they're just happy to make something off of the stuff that didn't sell in the beginning. So always taking advantage of those opportunities when they come up. And now we have a vintage tea towel going out, the calendar type from 1979. It sold for $16.95. Grabbed that at the last highway sale that we went to. It's cute. It's got like little Holly Hobby looking children on top. I love those old calendars, and what's great is that you can actually reuse them. The calendar year does repeat itself. Sometimes it takes 30 years, but it does happen. Now we have some new old stock thumbtacks going out in a beautiful bright yellow and then an avocado green, which is really cool. I paid a quarter for them both at an estate sale. They sold for $7.96. This must be quarter hour. I paid a quarter for like everything, the last like 5 or 6 items, including this. It's a plastic reusable hall pass, like you would use dry erase on it, and it's from 1972. Super cool item. Found it at a yard sale, at a highway sale, and It sold for $11.96. Pretty neat item, I think. Now we've got to travel up to our Halloween bin. Starting to see some Halloween items selling. It's never too soon to get those holiday items listed because they will start flying here very soon. These new old stock cat beverage napkins paid $0.25. They sold for $5.95. Now this was a great pickup. We went to an estate sale in the last 20 minutes of the whole sale for the whole weekend, and they had a whole box of pins. We asked how much for the whole box. They said $5. I said deal. And that box included a ton of ski resort pins, including this Loon Mountain one, which sold for $24.95. So always look for those bulk opportunities when they present themselves, especially if you know something like ski resort items can sell really well. Now, this is not a great pickup on my part. Got a bunch of these little Smurf figurines. They are not the vintage ones. Got them all at the bins. Paid maybe $1 by weight. They finally sold for $6.77. I am not picking those up again, but they were still fun to photograph and, kind of play with. Now, this is something I'd never seen before, and I would 100% pick them up every time if I ever see them again, but I've never seen them. They're like cast metal birds, but they have little push pins on the bottom. So you would pin them on a board or on a map. I'm not really sure. But there's 6 of them in this box. And we got this at a yard sale that was kind of like an estate sale where they had a bunch of little trinkets. I bought the whole table for $5. So I have maybe a quarter into those, and they sold for $17.95 very quickly, a couple hours after listing. And of course, one of my favorite things to list is a trinket lot. These little pieces are toys and game pieces and little antiques and miniatures. Maybe have $3 into all of them, and they sold for $34.95. There's over 60 pieces in that bag. And our last item going out is something I was actually really nervous about buying when I bought them because I actually spent a lot, for all the ones that I got. But I'm very happy that I did because even though they're selling a little bit slower, they're still really great items and making good money. I paid $3.98 for these 2 needlepoint hangers, and they sold for $31.96. I'm well into the profit on all the ones I bought. So these items came to $24.16 and $446.53 in sales, which is 18 times our money. Not a bad weekend, especially as it's starting to heat up. It's all packed up. I'm going to take some more photos for some more listings, and we'll see you soon with another video of what's sold.